We got Black Soul Music here on Creating Conversation. I want to thank you for coming on, being a part of this.
Thanks for having me, bro.
I
support anything positive and forward thinking.
Appreciate you. So let people know who Black music is, what you represent as
Black soul music.
Black soul, nigga. Tell make sure you let me know. Black soul music. What do you represent as an artist? Like what type of artist are you?
I'm primarily an R&B soul artist with dashes of neo soul here and there. Neo soul is definitely rooted in the foundation of my music. I feel like what I attempt to do as an artist is impact the culture and move it forward one song at a time. Nostalgia is heavy in the branding of my music because, I feel like there's a certain period of time.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, man. A certain period of time when that music influenced me the most. I'm big on like the 70s, 80s, and then the 90s, of course.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, man, I just try to make sure that I'm honest in every record I do.
Neo soul. I know soul. Break down neo for me just so.
Okay, so neo soul was actually coined a term during the 90s when they called them the Soulquarians. It was like D'Angelo, Common, Mos Def, Erykah Badu, Angie Stone, and they were all like the new movement of what soul was, but they put a little bit more funkier up-tempo backdrop to what it was they were doing, and they incorporated a lot with hip-hop. The reason why they were called the Soulquarians was because all of their birthdays were in that Aquarius time. Man.
Okay.
Yeah, so
break off the knowledge.
Heavily influenced by that era of music, man, because I felt like it was raw. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all about the singers having the baby oil on their chest and body rolling and having to do all the extra.
Even though D'Angelo did
have his little stint where,
his music was that.
But his music was raw, man, and embodied. It was true, and that's what I liked about neo soul music. Everybody was basically talking about what was going on in the world and their lives, and they didn't have to fabricate any of the content or the topics that were discussed in their music.
Okay.
And I feel like marketable music is relatable music. Somebody speaking about that real, somebody somewhere is going through the same thing that you are.
Going through the same thing, exactly. What type of age range were you when you were listening to the neo soul, when you picked on to it?
When I got hip to neo soul music was probably 6th grade. It was at a track meet at Lincoln, actually. My boy Bus, man, shout out to Bus. We was warming up for our track meet. The first song he let me hear was the Music Soul Child, Just Friends.
Okay.
And he was like, man, you hip to this cat Music Soul Child? Like at the time he had just dropped. And I was like, nah. He let me hear that, and that was the first I heard the boom, 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 boom. I was like, and I was like hooked ever since. I was like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? I went and got his album, and we put the album in rotation until the front cover melted off. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about your relationship or how you feel about Music Soul Child being an impact on you as an artist.
I always loved his brand of soul was always like a more polished in presentation. But with the things that he was able to do vocally, man, was always like, you hear a Music Soul Child song, you hear his arrangements of his vocals, and you go, did this singer really just do that? That run that fell into this harmony was crazy, but he make it look so easy. His range was crazy from his falsetto to his lower register. And so for me, he really embodied like everything you wanted to be as an artist, that was still true to him but had commercial success. Prior to neo soul, I grew up in a household where they was listening to, Teddy Pendergrass, even Lionel Richie was in the house. Mom listened to a little bit of everything.
So Mom's is the one that really put you on.
Yeah, Mom's was heavy on music. Like, that's all she. Even if you was asleep, if you wanted to listen to music and the speaker was in your room,
you was gonna hear that.
And you look so peaceful getting that good sleep. If she needed to hear some of that Al Green, you was gonna wake up for the Al Green.
So she really embedded it into everybody in the house.
Absolutely.
Okay. Absolutely. So that's where you get it from, Moms. That's dope. You talk about the range. Do you see that in your music? How do you play? Because we was just listening in the car the other day. And I was like, is that Nick, was that you? You know what I'm saying? So you must take pride in being able to have range in
Absolutely.
what you do with your voice.
And I think that's why I've identified with some of the artists that have influenced me the way that they have, like the Music Soul Childs, like the Bilaals, like the Marvin Gayes. Because coming up, and even before I really knew what music was about, even before I even decided that I wanted to pursue a career in music, like everybody always used to talk about the range that I had. And at the time, I was like, I figured like any singer could be able to hit these notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really think anything special of it. And then, as you grow and you understand and, you hear different styles and you understand what it is to have a lower register and a higher register and a falsetto, strong falsetto. And then you realize not everybody can do that. And then it's like, oh damn, well I guess I might be on something. Then.
On to something.
Yeah.
Okay. Take me on the timeline when you the Black soul music timeline from start. Where'd you start? Where'd it go as far as musically, and when you knew you could sing? Like,
I figured out that I always used to like to sing. Never really knew what it was. It's just for the pure enjoyment of wanting to do like a karaoke style, be in the car, hear my favorite song on the radio, and I start to sing it. Pops would tell me to shut up a few times, but it was in my heart. This is what I wanted to do. So I didn't realize that I might be on to something, and even then, not to the point where I was like, damn, I want to do music. But it was in the 5th grade talent show, and my friends pumped me up to get in the talent show. And we had to audition for one of the 5th grade teachers.
You sing Sammy?
Nah. Even that was my cut at the time. I actually did a song for Mama.
Okay.
The Voice of Men, the Soul Food movie was out.
Okay. So
I'm doing my audition, and my 5th grade teacher, she had never heard me like even hum or nothing in class before. So they only expect a certain amount of skill to come from kids. You know what I'm saying? And she heard me doing the rendition of a song from Mama, and she was like, wait a minute. She was like, and she started giving me like little tips as far as breathing and goes to really bring it out. And she was like, how long have you been able to do this? And I was like, I'll be singing in the car, but I'm telling me to shut up. But
exactly. That's all I know.
And then so when the talent show came, of course all the moms was there. Sang the song from Mama and broke all the moms.
Broke them all down.
It wasn't a dry in the house.
Okay.
So
that's when you really knew like, oh, I could do something with this.
Yeah. So from that point on, my interest was not per se enough to pursue a career, even through high school. But it was enough to keep me interested in learning about music. So I was always joining choirs and whatnot, trying to soak up as much game as I could about notes and key changes and what it is that I'm actually doing, like the science behind the music.
Yeah, because I remember you was always in choir.
But at the time, it was people that identified that I could sing. They was like, why don't you join this choir? And I liked singing at the time, so I was like, cool, why not? But I never chose to pursue. I didn't decide to pursue a career in music till probably my sophomore year in college. Okay. But up until then, it was all sports.
What clicked then?
Sports didn't work out.
Okay.
Back then, every ball was life. Everybody was going to the league. I wasn't really any different than any other kid out there that felt like they was going to go. We all played with AAU together. Exactly. On my boys, so everybody had a plan mapped out on how they was going to get there. And in my mind, I was like, man, my grades was always top notch. So that's one of the big things that always kills them. All the best athletes got the worst grades. So I'm straight on that. I'm straight. Got to get my numbers up, and I'm straight. And then factors that you don't consider, that may deviate, cause you to deviate from the plan as you get older. Life. So I went from like a little mini depression on I guess I ain't going to the league. What I'm gonna do now? Yeah, what I'm gonna do now? And then I was like, well, it was always there from the beginning. Music. Yeah. So it's funny. I had a conversation with one of my partners in college, and like I ran the idea by him. I was like, what you think? What I'm saying? If I were to start really pursuing this music thing, and he was all for it. Yeah. Like, and we had literally just met that year. Okay. And he was all for it. He was like, man, I would give it a run and see. It couldn't hurt. Yeah. What's the alternative? And I was like, you're right. You still talk to him to this day? Yeah, that's my partner still to this day. Okay. Still to this day. And it's crazy when we get together and we talk and you see the growth from where it started when it was at the ground.